So this week we are finishing our final course plan. And so the first week the first time we did course plan, we did this top section. Who are you? What are you doing? Most importantly, what grade you were searching for. Just say an A for now. The second time we went through and took a guess at what points we were going to earn through the course. This time we're going to talk about the actuals. So the three parts of planning is, what's the goal of the plan? Then number two, what is the specific plan? What you're hoping to get done? And then three is based off of some reality, based off of some work, what is the actual space you are, and what updates can you make to the plan to be able to charge to the finish? So you can do this a number of different ways. I want to show you a way in Excel to make this happen. You can probably do the same thing in numbers. You can probably do the same thing on sheets. But if you don't know these tools, if you don't want to mess with these tools, I'll show you another alternative at the end as well. So what I'm going to suggest you do is come down here on the course plan and right click and say move or copy. And then inside of that, put it at the end and say create a copy. This is important. So it's going to copy this whole item, and then we're going to change this to be actuals. So what's actually happened here. Now, it doesn't actually unlock any of this. You can't type in the things you that have done. But what I want you to do is don't type in what you plan to do, type in what you've done. So I've actually done, let's say I did all the baseline tasks, 40 points. Woohoo! Maps. I did 65 points. I don't know. Let's just put some numbers instead here. Trees by hand, I earned 17 points. Basic trees, I did the minimum 50. Balanced trees, I'm only at 20 points so far. Balanced trees by hand, I really worked hard on those. I got my 20 points there. Let's say hashing. I've done my 20 points, but I haven't done anything there, and I don't know. I haven't actually decided on this one yet. This might not be here anymore. But so let's say I haven't done that yet. And I haven't done any of this stuff yet because it's not come up yet. We haven't even talked about it. So I'm going to put those out there. And status reports, if you've done every one so far, you can be at 30. Maybe you messed up on a couple of them, so you're at 26 or something like that. So let's give yourself the 10 points here, and then did all this stuff. So that sounds good. So I did 9 out of 10 here, just for fun. All right, so now you can see I'm at 317 points out of 800. So this will give me a sense of, first of all, what was my plan saying? My plan is saying I was shooting for 800. Well, where am I behind on some of these things? Where am I lacking? And where do I plan on making this up? You should update your course plan to say, you know what? Now that I look at it, since I'm probably going to be late on some of this stuff, I really do understand the maps better, so I'm going to update my plan here. I was planning to do 50, but now I'm going to do all 125 of these. I really have a good feel for this. And, I can actually go back and work on this some more. And I already got my 20 here, so, did that. So again, I can go back and talk about, well, let's make sure these are all done. And I mean, this one I want to get to 50, that's fine. And again, this is the plan. So you can see I'm already up to 730 right here. But I might say, you know what? Doing this project, doing this stuff, it's all I got. So maybe I need to just settle for a B. That would be a stress relief on me. Actually, I'm okay with the B, and this is my realistic plan to get there, and so I'm not going to stress myself out. Or, hey, I absolutely must have an A. It's in my identity, have an A. This is the work I need to do. And, based off of my actuals, I can actually go back and look at all my status report and say, well, these are the number of hours I've worked. These are the number of points I've earned. On average, these are the number of points I've earned per hour. And this is the number of hours I need to work over the last few weeks to make that happen. So again, if I'm working 30 hours and got 310 points, that means I have 50 hours of work theoretically to get to 800. Again, this is what actual planning is all about. I don't care if you're perfect about it. I don't care if you're right about it. It's just the activity of going through that. Number one, makes you aware of where you stand. It makes you aware of work you need to do before you finish. And it also gives you the practice of seeing what professional planning looks like. All right, so if you don't want to do it through this fancy Excel spreadsheet sort of way, you can also do it on paper. You can do a number of things, or just simply to say, okay, my actuals are on D2L. I can grab my numbers from there. Great. I can do that. Nice thing about doing it this way is you can give a double check of D2L. If you say 317, D2L shows you at 212, see what's missing, give me an email, maybe I messed something up. That's possible as well. Um, it's always worthy of double checking systems and people. That we all make mistakes, as hopefully you've seen by now in code. It also You can just also start from this is the plan, and your actuals might be different. You can just give me a list to say, okay, this is my to do. Oops, did not do that right. To do. Nope. TD. One more time. To do. All right. So in this one, my course plan said I was going to do 125 points of maps. My actual is only 65. So my to do becomes I need to finish COVID, and then whatever else is going to do there. I need to finish remove on basic map and do add on balanced tree, or whatever you need to do to catch up. The stuff coming in the future is the stuff you plan on doing in the future, and that is kind of according to your plan. But this gives me a sense that if you're not doing it, this way, the types of things you need to do to catch up. Um, I don't need to see the plan of how you're going to succeed because you may or may not follow that plan. I need you to see the plan of what you need to succeed, so that way you can work with me to help me help you, if you will, in that whole Jerry Maguire sense, if you've seen that movie. So you can come ask for help from me. You can work with SI. You can work with your pod, whatever you need to do to get the work, and at least you have some expectation of the realistic grade you're going to get at this point, and what type of work you have to put into that final push here. So again, the project's a bunch of points. Don't panic about that. It's very achievable, but it's also not going to be, it's going to require work. It's going to require you to put in some effort. So you can't realistically do that project if you're catching up on everything else. So you need to make sure you're planning that work in as well over the next few weeks. All right, so this is the general idea of what we're going to do for this final course plan. If you have any questions, reach out and let me know. If you want to submit it early and ask me to take a look at it, I can do that as well. Again, I'm not being super picky on any of the grading of this. It's mostly an exercise of you understanding what planning looks like and me really giving a sanity check to what's going on. If you come back to me and say, I've only earned 50 points so far, and I'm going to earn 750 points in the last 3 weeks of class, we're going to have a real serious talk of how that's possible. But outside of that, if you have a realistic plan, even unrealistic plan, you'll get the points for this. Don't get me wrong. You don't have to put a harsh plan out there, but we will have to talk about what a very optimistic plan means and what your realistic plans are to get it done. All right, so looking forward to see those and then get them in as soon as you can.